These are the two best controllers that I have the pleasures of reviewing so far. I'm Raiju and welcome to the channel. Both have the Xbox layout, both are relatively larger controllers, but the Raiju is definitely bigger. So if size does matter, then it pretty much boils down to, do you want something more portable, or do you want to compensate for something perhaps you don't have? For the MyGT, I like that there's a switch on the controller, but I don't like the select and start button being on the inside and it's flat, which makes them pretty hard to press. To some, this might not be a big deal. It wasn't for me in the beginning, but then I started playing arcade games and now it's one of those things that I look for in a controller. For the Raiju, I like that there are macro buttons, and this is one of the few controllers that actually have macro buttons. But I don't like how far the start and select buttons are, and it's one of those where I have to hold the home button to turn the controller on and off. Then there's the size. Both controllers are on the bigger side, but the Raiju is just too much to the point where I just can't place it in my jacket pocket without the controller sticking out. I pretty much have to bring a small camera bag for the controller, and it could be a hassle to some. On the other hand, because the MyGT is smaller, I would often drop the controller, and it has dropped to the point where the L2 doesn't work properly, but this is my fault, so for you it could be different. In terms of comfort, I would go with the Raiju because of the texture on the back. The shoulder buttons are leaps and bounds better than the MyGT. So are the face buttons because they're tactile and clicky. The analog sticks feel more precise. They click better when you click on them. You're not moving in a direction at the same time. I don't know why, that's for me. It's because maybe I dropped the controller so many times, but this might not be the case for you. So I'm not counting against the MyGT because, again, it could just be me. In terms of overall quality, I would say the Raiju outshines the MyGT for all of the right reasons. After all, the Raiju is 5 times the cost of the MyGT. One of the things that I did notice is when playing shoot 'em up games, the D-pad is not that good on the Raiju, while the MyGT is a lot better. Both controllers works right out of the box, which it should be like that, and I'm just surprised that the Raiju actually work as well because it's so expensive. I have a really bad history with expensive controllers, so this is a real surprise to me that the Raiju actually works so well. If you plan on playing competitive games on the Raiju, there's a cable that comes in with the box, and you can directly connect the controller to the phone, so you will experience zero lag. But the controller will take on the battery of the phone, so that might drain your battery faster. Keep that in mind. Also, the MyGT is Bluetooth only, and to my knowledge, I don't have a micro USB to USB-C to test it out. But if any of you do, let me know if it also works with the MyGT. I'm kind of curious myself to find out. The clamp on the Raiju is better because there are so many degrees on how you would like it. On the other hand, there are 2 options for the MyGT. To be honest, for the MyGT, the 2 clamp settings are good enough anyways. The things that make me worry about the Raiju is that I'm afraid the clamp might crap out in the future after an extended amount of use. Both clamps have rubber pads to protect both sides of the phone in case you don't have a case on your phone. However, on the MyGT, I noticed the rubber on the bottom, but the top doesn't have it, so it could either mean that they were never there in the first place, or mine just fell out, so check yours. The MyGT is advertised for 18 hours, the Raiju is advertised for 30 hours. From my experience, I feel like battery life should not be a big concern with controllers because there's a really good chance you will charge them in a day or two, around the same time you would actually charge your phone. Most people would have power banks that go on road trips, so I'm guessing you wouldn't be any different either. If you're using the MyGT, remember to bring the micro USB cable, while the Raiju takes USB-C. To be honest, in terms of price to performance and overall functionality, MyGT wins hands down because it costs 5 times less than the Raiju. For the people that bought the Raiju, you're not dumb for spending that kind of money, because here's the thing, you want the best controller and you're willing to pay for it, and I get it, I'm a customer too. The one thing that I can say for the Raiju is that once you use those face buttons, you don't want to use any other controller because it feels really good and the buttons are just a joy to use. To me, using the Raiju is like using a mechanical keyboard for the very first time. Once I use it, I don't want to go back to a regular membrane office keyboard. So if you have the money for it, go for it. If you don't, then don't feel bad because you're getting the MyGT. It's a great controller for the money. If you can find one and buy it, let me know, because up to the video at this point, it's really hard to find a MyGT controller. I don't know why. Everywhere is selling out. Have no idea why that's happening, and hopefully they come in stock again because I would like to get another one. Anyways, comment, like, subscribe, click the bell for more content. You guys stay awesome.